Hello, this is the first program of hardware interface, that is DAC experiment, that is digital to analog converter. Now here you can see a setup for the DAC experiment. This is a 8051 baseboard, that is 8051 architecture, and here you can see a DAC board. This is a DAC board, that is dual DAC. There are two channels in the dual DAC. Both the channels can be used to measure the output. Now the connections are like this. The 8051 and DAC board are interconnected using the FRC cable. This is flat ribbon cable, and DAC has a power supply of plus 12, minus 12 and ground connection. The wires are color coded. You can see here green is connected to green, yellow is connected to yellow, and black is connected to ground. Similarly, 8051 board is also given a power supply from the SMPS, that is one is 5 volts and another one is black ground. So now 8051 board will have a 5 volts and a ground connection, and DAC board will have plus 12, minus 12 and ground connection from the SMPS. Here you can see another wire which is coming from the 8051 board, that is RS232 cable, which is used to communicate between the 8051 board and the computer system, through which the program will be burnt into the 8051 board and it will be executed. Then to see the output, we connect a CRO probe to output of the DAC. Here you can see a DAC pin. There are two outputs here, Y output and X output. We can measure the output signal in from any of these two pins, either X out or Y out. X out will give the output of a port 0 and Y out will give the output of port 1. As in the program, we are generating a waveform on both ports, port 0 as well as port 1. We can use any of the output, that is either X out or Y out, to measure the output on the CRO. To measure the output on the CRO, we are connected a CRO probe from 8051 board to CRO. Initially you can see here on the CRO there is no output coming here. It's just a ground line which is being displayed. Now for the execution, first we type the program, save the program in .c format and add the program to the project. The creation of the project file is similar to what we did in the assembly language program, but only the file will be saved with the extension .c. But however, before doing a hardware interface, we need to do a target setting. That is, in the target setting window, you can see here there is a frequency that we have to set for the standard 8051 frequency, that is 11.059 MHz. Then we enable use on chip ROM and then go to output tab and select create hex file. This we have to check. After doing this, then we have to go to debug. In the debug, there are two options. Either we can use a simulator or we can use a driver. So first we will see how simulator works, then we can go for the driver. Once I select a simulator, then I click OK. Now this is a simulator output what we have to see now. Now then we build the program. You can see there are no errors and no warnings. Then go to debug mode, click OK. So now we are in a debug mode. To see the waveforms, we go to logic analyzer, go to weave and click on a logic analyzer window. A window appears here. Then click on the setup, that is top left button. Another window appears where we can select the channels. First we'll create a channel by clicking here new. Then we have to type port 0 or port 1. So now I have typed port 0, then close. Now you can see here port 0 is displayed, and if I execute the waveform, execute the program, the waveform should appear. You can see here the square wave is appearing in the logic analyzer. That means the program what we have written is correct. Once we get a logic analyzer output, then we'll try to get the output on the actual hardware. Then stop the program, come out of the debug mode again. Then we'll go to target selection. This time in the debug tab, let's select Keil driver, that is Keil Monitor 51 driver. When we select this driver, we have to enable the run to main option, as well as in the settings we have to enable serial interrupt. These are the few settings which has to be done before any hardware experiments. Then click OK and then click OK. Now we rebuild the program to generate a hex file. Now you can see here the hex file is generated. Then we actually burn the program onto the board. So now when we click on the debug mode, the program will be burnt on the board. That progress bar we can see in the bottom. Before doing that, on the hardware there is one reset interrupt. So press the reset interrupt so that the board will be reset to the default condition, and then click OK. Once I click OK here, you can see there was a progress window appeared here which shows that the program is being burnt on the 8051 board. Then we actually execute the program. Once I run this program, then output should be appearing on the CRO. Now here you can see there is a waveform appeared, so little bit of a CRO setting has to be done to get the actual waveform. Now here is a square wave which is appearing on the CRO. The program is written in such a way that we can change the amplitude and frequency of the waveform while running the program. That is, dynamically we can choose the amplitude as well as the frequency by using the interrupts. Now here there are two interrupts provided on the 8051 board, INT0 and INT1. So one interrupt is given for frequency and another one is given for the amplitude. That is, INT0 is given for the frequency and INT1 is given for the amplitude. When I press INT0, then the frequency will change. When we press there, the frequency of the waveform will change. You can see there the period of the waveform is changing. That means frequency is also changing. Similarly, if I press another interrupt, that's INT1, the amplitude of the waveform keeps changing. You can observe the change in the amplitude for every key press. Now amplitude keeps on increasing to the maximum value, that is when the port value becomes FF. After that again it will reset it back to 00. Now the student has to note down the original frequency, that is default frequency when the program is being executed for the first time, and what is the change in the frequency for one press of the interrupt, and what is the change in the amplitude for one press of the respective interrupt. After observing all these things, then note down the waveform, and the same has to be drawn on the graph sheet in the record. Once we observe the output, then again we stop the program by using the halt button, stop the execution and come out of the debug mode. This completes the first experiment.